I definitely don't claim to be a professional, but if you don't know what you're doing, don't try this at home.
What's up, everybody? Today's episode, Random Projects with Danger. We're going to be replacing this old hand crank winch with this Badlands 2000 that I got on the open box shelf at Harbor Freight. $56. Brand new. Looks like it hasn't been messed with. So we're going to mount this over here. Then I don't have to hand crank anymore. First step is we got to get this old hand crank off. I just want everybody to know this is not for the movement of humans, okay? Just so you know. Okay, these are the metal plates that I'll be working with. I do want to make the electric winch removable, and I want to be able to put the hand crank back on if need be. So I'm going to use these pins. I'm going to drill some slots in the plate, and we're going to make them interchangeable. One down. Done. No. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to get out the plasma cutter for this one. Trying to get these opened up enough. So we slide it down and then lock it into place. We're pretty close. Okay, so after a ton of grinding, drilling, plasma cutting, filing, tons of sweat on my forehead, I think I finally got the plate good to go. We got a little breakthrough right there. Maybe I'll put a weld on it. Doesn't really need it, but I might. Drill a couple holes, mount the winch. You know, I'm going to go on a little rant right now, and I have no one to blame but myself. But every time I start a project, it just seems like the shop just gets disastrous very quickly. So I'm going to take a minute and clean this up, but I mean, you see what I'm working with. Just crap everywhere. That's my workbench. That's one of my workbenches. And there's my other workbench. So yeah, let's clean this up. I feel a little bit better. It's definitely not clean, but I can at least work in it now. So I put this pin to keep this from loosening up. When that's on there, she won't go anywhere. That way, when it's in travel, it won't just fall off. Hopefully. I also gave the plates a coat of black paint. So, good to go. I plan on running this winch with this jump pack here. In order to do that, I bought some of these these top post battery terminals to clamp the cables on. I have to mount it in plastic though, because these obviously can't touch. So I'm going to cut some strips of this ABS plastic here, and we got to figure out a way to mount it. The plan is to glue them together, bolt these through, one on either side. That should provide enough insulation so they don't touch. I think it'll work. Going to use this L bracket to mount it to the winch. This is fun. I mean, I could I could take the winch off and then screw these in and then put the winch back on. But that's not as much fun now, is it? All right, fine. Done. Well, almost. So to wire this girl up, there's two sets of cables coming out of the remote. One set of cables goes directly down to the motor, and this other set of cables is going to go to your battery, or in this case, our jump pack. Now you can see, I'll give you a little angle there. Badlands includes this 50 amp breaker. I'm going to probably zip tie it right here, just to keep it out of the way. You don't want this hitting ground. She'll make an awful spark and start welding. So maybe I'll just zip tie it to the plastic here somewhere. We'll figure that out. But right now, in order to screw on these posts, I need to put bigger loops on there, because these little loops, they're not big enough. You can't really tell the difference until I put them side by side. But we need the bigger loops in order to bolt onto these. So that's the game plan. I'm going to put the bigger loop right here on the circuit breaker and get moving. Yow, it just got a little, I don't know what that was. It wasn't a shock, but I got some kind of a pinprick. I'm going to edit that out. I'm going to use a little blue thread locker here, just because I don't want these to loosen up. I do have whatever they call these bolts with the lock washers built in. Can't remember the name of them right now. That should be good. These are some of the best wire crimpers I've ever come across. I believe they're made by Channel Lock number 909. If you want to order these up, I've never had a connector come loose using these, not once. I'll grab the proper wrench and snug those up before we're all done. I already went ahead and I taped all these wires together every 6 inches to a foot or so to keep them all uniform. I'm going to be wrapping it all with this wire loom when we're all done. But for right now, bit of blue thread locker. The blue works really, really well. The red is the stuff that you want to use if you never, ever, ever want to take it off again, because you won't get it off after you use the red. Not without a torch anyways. There we go. Those are both snug. Like I said, I do want to keep this in place. I'm going to wrap this with a little electrical tape just to keep it from arcing out. But first I got to tighten those up. I don't know if I showed you this before. This is my socket set. I got this. You can still see there's a $5. It says $5 on it. This is one of those Christmas specials. I picked this one up. I believe it was at Walmart, but it was probably 15 years ago. I still have all of the sockets. I mean, I did have to replace one or two of them. But I'll tell you what. Doing small engine repair, this is my go-to. It has every size that I need. Obviously, I'm not going to use it for big jobs because the tools aren't quite strong enough for big jobs. But I can't say anything bad about it. All right, we're in good shape there. Electrical tape. Like I said, I'm just going to wrap this with electrical tape just in case some of these contacts ever come and hit each other or hit the ground. I don't want it to arc out. Just a little added protection. Got one of these zip ties that has a hole in it so you can mount it. I like that right there. There. I like it. Well, let's give it a test run, I guess. It works. For those of you that have never used this stuff before, it's fairly straightforward. It has a split in the end. Just peel that open. Push it on. And then kind of follow it down all the way. Once I get this on, I like to wrap some tape around, at least around the ends, and maybe a couple spots in the middle, just so it doesn't slide out of there. As always, I'm using the old eyeball 5000 to measure the distance between the tape. This just adds an extra layer of protection if the remote's going to get dragged around. You don't want to get it caught on the edge of the trailer, so I just like to have a little extra protection on the cords. There. I'm even going to put some tape on both sets of looms and tape them together in a couple spots, just so they less chance of them getting tangled. You can use zip ties for this. I just happen to have the tape on the table here, so we're using tape. If you use zip ties, you cut the ends off, but you're still going to get those instances of getting cut on the sharp edges of the zip tie. So there, I like it. There it is. We'll put the pin in. See, we got our remote. All right. Next step, we gotta build some kind of a tray to put the jump pack on. Plate doesn't seem to be so thick, but it's thick enough to give me a hassle. These are definitely some of the ugliest welds I've ever done. I can't seem to get a bead going with the old 110 MIG. I don't know if it's the voltage isn't high enough or it's just because it's breezy and I'm not getting enough shielding gas. Either way, it ain't going nowhere. We're going to paint it. Ship it. All right, we're moving in the right direction. You want to bungee cord this thing down. Because when we tilt the trailer, it's going to have to tilt with it. Like so. And I don't want this going anywhere. Let's try it out. Perfect. Now, I just have to get whatever that thing's called that the cable rides in. I'm going to mount that up a little higher. So I just drove to Harbor Freight to get a fair lead. I guess that's what those are called, the fair lead. They didn't have any roller fair leads there, but they did have the rope and fair lead set to replace the steel cable with the rope. So I snagged that for about 35 bucks. Gonna figure out how to mount this fair lead. That's the next step. That was a shaky trailer. As you can see, I centered this up with the old eyeball 5000. We're good to go. And we're out of wire. Okay, new roll of wire. That's welding much better now. I don't think it was the wire, I just think it was too greasy before. Now that I have enough shielding gas, it's welding really good. I want to make sure that I get rid of all the sharp edges so none of them catch on the rope. Those welds definitely penetrated better than the other ones. Alright, time to change that cable out. Never done one of these before, but by the looks of things, there's a set screw, Allen head set screw to hold it in. Looks like it's a 2.5 millimeter. That's all it took. Go get the rope. By the looks of things, we got a coated end. Hopefully it will fit right where I took that one out of. Hopefully. It's a tight fit. It's a really tight fit. I think I'm going to run a drill bit down through there first. I got a 1/4 inch drill bit here. It starts to go in the hole, but it gets bound up pretty quickly, so I'm going to just run it through. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. Where are we? That hole right there. We're just going to run the 1/4 inch drill bit through it. By the way, make sure you take the set screw out of the way. Make sure it's backed out enough before you do this. That should do it. Didn't take much material out, just enough. It's close. So I did have to drill that with the 17/64 because it just wasn't happening with the 1/4 inch, but now it fits in nice. Perfect. Put the set screw back in. That's nice and snug. All right. Hook some power up and we'll winch it in. Helps if I take it out of freewheel mode. I went ahead and cut this rope in half. This is a 50-foot rope. And for what I need here with this 8-foot bed, 25 feet is plenty. What I did do was take some heat shrink tubing, put it over there, and melt it down over the new end. Now I should be able to wind it all up. The problem was it was loading up on the reel here. There wasn't enough room to put it all because this rope has sheathing over it, protective sheathing, so we should be good to go now. So I just put one of these little hairpins in there. That way when I'm done using this, I can unthread the rope. Because it's designed not to pull all the way through, but I want it removable. Nice. Well, another project's done. What did I learn from this? I learned that took me a little longer than I thought. 2 days, almost 3. Not full days, but a couple hours here, a couple hours there. But overall, I'm satisfied. No more hand crank to load the mowers and whatever and whatnot onto the trailer. So, all in all, good stuff. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, please.